Welcome to your Irvine housing market update. Today we're going to be diving into all of the data, taking a look at the median days on market, median sales price, active listings, month supply of inventory, compare what Irvine has been doing to the rest of Orange County, and it'll give you a great idea on what prices are going to be doing for the near future. So whether you're buying or selling a house here, this video is going to help you navigate the real estate market. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ian Phillips. I'm a local realtor in Orange County, and I upload weekly videos diving into the housing data, helping buyers and sellers navigate this market that we're in right now. So if you're looking to buy or sell in the area, reach out. I'd love to chat. Maybe I'd be a good fit for you. Let's get into the Irvine market update. Okay, straight into the data. All of this is pulled directly from the MLS. And right now we are in a seller's market for Irvine. No surprise, we've been in a seller's market for the last 5 years, basically. Month supply of inventory has increased a little bit. We're almost at 3 months. And sold to list price, on average, homes are selling for basically list price, maybe slightly below. Median sold price, $1.65 million. And this is up a lot over the last few years. So we'll take a look at the chart right away. So this blue line is Irvine. The orange line is Orange County. The yellow line is California, and the red line is the rest of the US. We don't need to have that. So Irvine. Prices in 2022 were $1.34 million compared to Orange County, which was $1,073,000. And just since 2022, prices dropped $100,000 in Irvine and then dropped about $70,000 in Orange County, and they basically just didn't even look back. So now prices are over $1.6 million in Irvine and almost $1.2 million in Orange County. So Irvine has outperformed Orange County as a whole for the last 5 years, essentially. And what I love about this is that both Irvine and Orange County are outperforming all of California as a whole. As you can see, California peaked in 2022, where prices were $795,000, and now they're $791,000. So as California as a whole has been basically flat since 2022, that was when interest rates went from 2.5% to 7%. Irvine and Orange County have been skyrocketing. Prices are up almost 20% in Orange County, and since the peak in Irvine, prices are up 25% or so. So as you can see, continued desirability in Irvine and Orange County as a whole, so I love to see that. New listings, number of properties. Last month, 379 homes hit the market, which is up a lot month over month. So no surprise, we're getting into that sort of period of time where a lot of sellers are wanting to list their homes. But as a buyer, that might start giving you a little more negotiating power. So let's look at active listings. So total properties on the market, 493 homes. Now, this is what we saw also in September of 2024, and that was actually when we had a brief correction in the market down around 5 to 7%. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing that again, but what I do know is there are more homes available for buyers, and if you're a seller, you have a little more competition right now. So there's a little more negotiating power if you're buying a home. Obviously, there are homes that are priced aggressively, selling quickly in the first weekend, getting multiple offers over list price. And then there are some homes that are sitting on the market a little longer. Maybe the sellers are a little bit too optimistic on what the market is doing. And as a result, they are not seeing offers in the first couple weeks. Median days on market for the active listings, 28. That is down since last year. And that tells me that there are significantly more buyers stepping into the market in the first half of 2025 compared to the last half of 2024. And that's honestly not really much of a surprise. Usually in the second half of the year, we see a housing market cool down for most of the country. So let's get into pending listings. This is a good indication of buyer demand. So if you see pending listings, which means homes getting into escrow, continuing to increase at the start of the year, that means there's a lot more buyers in the market. So let's take a look at that exactly. December 2024, there was 124 homes in escrow, and now there's almost 200. So buyers are stepping into the market, even as prices have increased drastically over the last 3 years. There are still an enormous amount of buyers that want to own and live in Irvine. And we all know Irvine is one of the most desired cities in the entire country. In 2024, it was the hottest selling market in the country. So we'll see if that continues into 2025. I don't think there's ever been a city that has had 2 consecutive years of being the hottest sellers market. So let's take a look at sold listings. 1,650,000. Number of properties sold last month, 174. So that is pretty cool to see that you have a lot of listings hitting the market, but there's also so many that are getting sold every single month. It would be scary if you saw 500 homes on the market and then only like 50 or 60 getting sold in a monthly period of time. So that tells me that even though there are more listings, there are still a ton of buyers. Sold to list price, this has basically just been doing nothing since 2023. As you can see in 2022, on average, homes were selling for 7% above list price, which is pretty crazy. But that was kind of when we had this whole low interest rate environment. And then boom, February hits, interest rates skyrocket, and then they start to sell below list price. But now we've kind of been hovering between 98 and 100. In the middle of 2024, homes are selling for 2% above list price. So it'll be interesting to see if we get to that stage again in 2025. Month supply of inventory, this is always a great one, whether you're buying or selling a house, to keep an eye on. A lot of people overlook it, but as month supply of inventory increases, that tells me that there's probably going to be price declines in the near future, because if there's more homes available, obviously buyers can be a little more choosy, and more often than not, sellers are going to have to start doing price cuts if they want to stay competitive in the market and get attraction to their home. So right now, 2.86 months supply. At the beginning of the year, we were at 2 months. So that's a steady increase in the first half of the year. Looking at this chart, we're probably going to go higher than we were at the end of 2024. So that means buyers, you probably have a little more negotiating power than you did last year. Because January last year, we were at 1 month. That is basically no homes available for sale. For anyone wondering, month supply of inventory means if all of a sudden sellers never wanted to sell their house in Irvine, it would take that many months for all the listings to disappear. Obviously, that's never going to happen, but I love to see this increasing. That means there's not going to be likely this 15 to 20% housing market appreciation this year like we saw in 21, 22, and 23, possibly even the first half of 24. I think we are overall in Orange County sort of trending toward more of a neutral market. Irvine, I think, will always have the desirability. Obviously, some of the best public school districts in the entire country and in California. It's one of the safest cities in California, if not the entire country. So that is going to attract, that's always going to attract buyers, particularly families who are looking to get their kids into great school systems that not necessarily involve private schools. The public schools here are great. My fiance went to them. Her whole family grew up in the Irvine Unified School District. So they love it. And in all honesty, I think that's going to be one of the drivers for what prices do in Irvine, as it continues to be one of the most desired areas for families to send their kids to school in Southern California. And as we all know, Irvine is one of the safest cities to live. I've been living here for the last 4 years or so, and sometimes there's theft in a Target near me and 5 police officers will get called for that theft. So it's an extremely safe area to live. But I love to see the month supply of inventory increasing. Starting in April 2021, we were kind of bouncing between 1 and 2 for 3 years. So I'm optimistic that we can actually start to get above 3 as 2025 goes on. Before all this interest rate nonsense, we were at 6 months of available homes for sale. So there's a 12-month change of 190%. That tells me that we're probably going to continue trending up. So if you're a buyer, expect a little more negotiating power as we approach the second half of 2025. And if you're a seller, your house is probably going to start sitting on the market a little longer, especially if you're pricing it with a little too much optimism. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more. Once again, my name is Ian Phillips. I'm a local realtor in Orange County. If you're looking for an agent in the area, all my information is in the description below. reach out. I'd love to chat. Or if you're just looking to get a little more knowledge on what the markets are doing in every city in Orange County, subscribe for more, like the video, and I'll see you next time.